Hi, this is Katie, and thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And I want to say, welcome back, kind of, because I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. And after doing 100 episodes, and having it timing out to the winter holiday breaks, I decided to take a little time off. And it's mid-January now, so it's not that long. And I also have had this new perspective over the last month that I wanted to share with you. There's some things I'm just really proud of that just fell into place. And maybe I'm saying the word just a lot, but it just kind of happened. But I have to look back and really see how it happened, because I know I find this with my son. I go, wow, you had such success with that. How did that happen? He's like, it just happened. And I think a lot of us can see and feel and hear and all this stuff. We can sense that there's more going on, but it can happen so quickly, and we want to move on and do other things that we don't look back and see how that actually happened. And I think that's what this month of January is kind of all about for me, is I'm pausing, I'm noticing things. I'm watching other people, I'm watching myself. I even talk to my son about hey, why don't you just watch what mom and dad are doing and just kind of just watch. You don't have to, because we really don't force him to do things. For him, being told what to do and having this authority kind of over him really doesn't work with his autism. So it's really about joining in. And the first step in all of that is noticing. So that's how that kind of ties into today. So when I started out, just even the last few days, or started out this month, I noticed some things falling into place. I had been working really hard on putting in systems for our financial stuff, and had systems before, but they always had some fail points, whether, all of the transactions were importing correctly. Sometimes there's so many of them that it can be hard to pinpoint where it's failing. And I was having that problem with one of my systems. It was I don't know actually what I'm missing. And so it can leave you feeling what's the point in putting energy into that if it's not going to be accurate and correct, and it's going to be really hard to fix. So I took some time the last couple days and went through, and we got it fixed. But then I also noticed maybe this is not the system that I should rely on. So I set up a new system, and I love setting up systems this time of year because I can try a lot of things out, and I give the whole month, especially for financial stuff. I give it the month of kind of setting up are these my categories? Because it's for our business and it's for our personal. What kind of categories are going to be successful a year from now? And things shift, right? For this last year for me, I had a bunch of new health things come up. And so we have a whole lot more health categories right now than we did a year ago, So, and I'm getting to see my chiropractor again. I'm getting, I've been to the dentist for a while, but oh gee, I had to have a filling. So it's these new little categories are creeping in, and how do I manage them? So I tried just lumping it all under one. So I look at categories and try to think, how simple could I keep all of this so that I can keep moving and then focus on other things? Do I need to segment this out or not? And I tried it just saying, okay, health, right? Just having a health category. But then after a while, I just saw this lump sum of many different health things: the dentist, the chiropractor, our co-pays, my infusions, other things. All these little things were pulling all into one, and there was just this lump sum there. And And for me, it's important to understand, like, how often can I look back over my records and see, oh yeah, there's my 4 therapies that I have a month. There is my chiropractic treatments. Here is and for me, I'm like, okay, no, I need to separate this out, because I had them separated. Then I lump summed them. I separated them again. But these first couple weeks of January are for that. Like if I play now and I'm setting up these systems now, and to me, I kind of also think of them as templates. Or is this a template I can stamp on every single month going forward? But also allowing myself grace that it won't be perfect and other things will pop up, right? We can't plan out every single thing in our lives. But then there's other categories where, I was like, okay, should I be tracking all of the supplies for the house plus groceries? Like, should I separate those out? And I found this last year, no, I just got to lump sum them under like groceries. Like when you go and buy food and then you also buy detergents and toilet paper and all those things, I applaud those who can separate those, because I was like breaking them down and trying to see like how much were we spending here so I could budget going forward. But then I'm like, that's making it too complicated for myself. I can just say there's one category so I can take one receipt, not split transactions, that kind of thing. Now for business, that's a little different. You are itemizing things. But then I discovered, I had kind of forgotten I did this a year ago. I do our taxes every year. I've been doing this for as long as I've had my business, and even before then. But I started my business in 2005, so it's coming up on 20 years. And every time I'm just like, well, my categories don't match like the general categories I use for filing our taxes. And last year, and I am thanking myself so much, like it becomes clear when I'm doing it. It's like, oh, this is how everything should be in the categories that the IRS wants and makes sense, or the software at least that I'm using in how I categorize things that they want. And I'm fine with that. Like, I guess you can move things around and do it how it fits you. But I was like, no, this makes sense. And that's the question you should ask. Does it fit me? But I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good with what they're saying. And I directly mirrored everything that they were asking for, and I put it into my accounting software, like word for word. I need exact words, because it's kind of like when I label all my spices, I'm looking for that exact word. When I'm looking through all the spices, I need to see all the labels, because I forget words. That's my ADHD. I forget words all the time. Literally right before hopping on this podcast, I pointed at our washing machine and I said, I don't know what that's called. The thing that washes your clothes. And my husband's like, the washer? I'm like, oh, thank you. It happens, right? I roll with it. Anyway, I directly matched the names. And when I went to I said, okay, the year is wrapped up, the calendar year. And because I worked so hard last year of just putting things in categories, I had a weekly date with myself. I went through and I would just categorize things. That's all I did. Along with paying bills, right? And when I went to sit down, I'm just like, I'm just curious what the numbers are this year. And so I exported the yearly report and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. These are the exact names. And I could just sit down for 10 minutes and put them all into my tax filing system, like right now. And I am usually, okay, back up. I have filed my taxes many times on April 15th. Very close to midnight. Okay. So I have done that before. I think that was mainly during the toddler days of my son, but, and those are hard days, I know, but the last few years, I'm kind of getting them done earlier and earlier, just because I really don't want to wait to the last minute. And I'm just like, well, I have like a spare half hour here. Let me just plug these in. Now, does that make my taxes done? No. But oh my goodness, to think that the process that used to take me hours is done is amazing for me. So, what did it take to get there? This is where I'm coming back around. It didn't just happen. Although it feels right in this moment that it just happened, right? But I'm looking at it as there was something last year that said, in my brain, that it was like, I'm kind of sick and tired of these not matching, of questioning, like, why are my categories different than what the software is? Why can't these match? So that's like one step backward, right? I was curious about why these didn't match. And then I took action on fixing those. How long did it take for me to rename everything? Probably another 20 minutes, half hour, just to kind of make sure they all match. But also, I love emojis. So along with renaming these categories, the software I categorize everything has emojis. And for me, I love this. I put emojis in my business categorization. I put them in my personal categorization because when I look at that icon and then also recognize the name after it, it makes categorizing more fun and easier. So before that though, before last year, I was like, it's been this build up year after year. And sometimes we can feel like this will take forever, or we don't want to approach something that's just going to be so massive and so hard to do. But what I've learned the last couple of years is just do the small thing in that moment. Because man, that small thing I did last year has been huge for right in this moment. Other examples are like, kind of having templates or systems for other parts of my life, whether I'm wearing very similar things every day, so I don't have to make the choice of deciding what to wear. I have kind of a uniform that I use. Granted, it's usually a sweatshirt and sweatpants because I'm mostly at home, but then I have like jeans and a sweater in different colors, right? That I know I can put on those, whatever is the clean ones, and go, okay, that's my uniform for leaving the house. These are the shoes I use to leave the house. I don't really have many choices. And so I can then focus on, well, what am I doing out of the house instead of what am I wearing out of the house? Is it templatizing, like, or systematizing what you eat every morning? It depends if you are one who needs to have like similar things every morning for comfort, or if your palate and your taste and needs variety to be enticed to eat every day, or just to enjoy your mornings. Like everyone, I think, should enjoy food and have like different varieties of crunch and taste and smells and spices and things. But sometimes if you're going throughout your day and you need to focus your decision-making skills on something more important, sometimes we just have to do the same thing over and over to get through a certain point in our lives, or just projects, or maybe then say, okay, Monday through Friday, I have more of an ordinary breakfast of some kind. And then on the weekends, that's when I take the time to like really experience life. So what do I mean by all of this? I guess I'm coming back around to it. What do I mean by this? What are the very, very small adjustments you can make to your systems, to your templates, that can kind of create space and that can help you down the road? And I think this can apply to so many different things, but these are the ones that I noticed this January to go, wow, that really made a difference. And I'm so glad I did. And it's sometimes it's really hard to think like, but I want to have my February really good. Why am I doing things in January that's going to help me a year from now when I want to focus on February and March? And yes, you can do that too. But my approach this year, and what's really, I guess, assuring now, because I've been practicing this the last couple of years, is take those small tweaks, take those moments to tweak things. Take that little moment to just slow down and pause and say, you know what, if I do this, flip a switch, recategorize something, take the time to research something, cancel something, look at something a little differently, adjust something, how can that add up to a successful year from now? I think that's it. And I appreciate all of you who have joined in the last 100 episodes. And I feel this is kind of a kickoff to a new season, but I'm not going to call it a season. I don't want to have the confinements of a season because I don't know how long this season will be. I can't keep up 3 a week like I did last year. And so it's going to be weekly moving forward. And so how long this season is, I don't know. There may feel like this natural cutoff towards the end of the year, towards the middle of the year. I don't know. I don't know yet. So enjoy. And I have new artwork up for my podcast now. It felt appropriate with this kind of changeover. And until next time, thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast.